What's up, Wolverines? I'm Andres La Vega, and welcome back to another episode of WBLN in the Middle. 2 weeks ago, 122 8th grade students participated in a program called Founding of a Nation. Juan Camilo Aguilar has more.
Founding of a Nation, a class trip that you'll never forget. The places where you go to is absolutely incredible. And if you're a 6th or 7th grade student, I would highly recommend you going on this trip. This trip all started as soon as we touched down at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. The first thing we did was go to Arlington National Cemetery, where we walked around and witnessed the changing of the guards.
Out! 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 Alright! Ice!
The next day, we made a 2.5-hour drive to Yorktown, where we learned how soldiers lived during times of war and what doctors would use to cure wounded soldiers. We then visited the battlefield, which is a very large field, and we also saw many canyons. Now, this was probably my favorite part of the trip, which was probably going to Philadelphia, where we went to the National Constitution Center, Independence Hall, and Liberty Bell. We also ate some Philly cheesesteaks, which were absolutely delicious. On our final full day, we went to Gettysburg, where many people call this the turning point of the war. We explored the battlefield, and the tour guide gave us a better idea of what the soldiers did when they were trying to attack the other army. Also, the tour guide made us do this.
There you go.
After Gettysburg, we made our way to Lincoln Memorial, which is one of my favorite parts of the trip because the statue is beautiful and Abraham Lincoln helped this country become better. On our last day, we drove to the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, where we took a group photo and looked at this fantastic monument. Then the final stop was in Mount Vernon, which was the home of George Washington. We explored his entire home, and we also learned how he lived during his life. After our final stop, we arrived at the airport, hopped on the plane, and took off. Once we were in the air, I decided to reflect on what we did on the trip. I came to the ultimate conclusion that this is one of the best trips you'll ever go on. Listen, I had a couple friends that weren't excited, but when I asked them later, they said it was an amazing experience and that they definitely do not regret going on this trip. Also, going on with friends makes the trip 10 times better, I'm not gonna lie. So as I finished reflecting, we came in for landing. So as I said at the beginning, if you're a 6th or 7th grader, I ask you to sign up, because even if you think that you're not going to have fun, when you go on the trip, you'll realize that you are having so much fun that you will never forget this trip.
My favorite activity was in Philadelphia when we got to go to the Signers Hall in the National Constitution Center, because I just found it really interesting to see all these people life-size, and these are founding fathers from way back when our nation was founded, and I found it really interesting.
For WBLN, I'm Juan Camilo Aguilar.
The Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Cava is meeting with Japanese business executives to try to improve transportation. The main goal is to try to create a direct flight from Miami to Tokyo. There are also plans to open a sister port to Miami called the Port of Yokohama. Overall, very positive things have come out of these meetings. Authorities are warning that the new iOS 17 feature, Name Drop, could be a big hazard, especially for children. Even though it is an easier way to share information, it can unfortunately give people easier chances of finding someone's personal information. A tech and cybersecurity expert said that this is a major red flag and that it is better if you turn this feature off. You can turn off Name Drop by going to your settings, then click on General, then click AirDrop. Next, turn off Bring Devices Together. By doing this, you are protecting from someone finding your personal information. Last week on Thanksgiving, the Lions entered their game with losing the last 12 Thanksgiving football games in a row. And the weird part is that every one of those games was on a day of a waxing gibbous spoon. And guess what? Last Thursday, it was another waxing gibbous, and the Lions lost to the Packers 29-22, extending their Thanksgiving losing streak to 0-13.
What's up, Wolverines? I'm Tito Suero, and here's your sports for today. This Sunday, the Miami Dolphins take on the Washington Commanders Sunday at 1 p.m. Let's look at what's going on today. The Miami Heat will be playing the Pacers at 7:30 p.m. The Heat are looking to end their 3-game losing streak. The Seattle Seahawks will take on the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football at 8:15 p.m. That's all your sports for today. Now let's send it back to Andy at the desk.
Thanks, Tito. We have 2 announcements this week. Next Wednesday, the 6th, we have early release. And on Friday, the 8th, we have a school-wide mass to Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. That's it for this week's episode of WBLN in the Middle. Remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And don't forget to stay safe and stay golden, Wolverines.